Hey guys, how's it going? Nick is here once again, and welcome to Amazon Answers, Episode 7, the Chiang Mai edition. Today we're going to be going over my experience with freight forwarding from China, LLC liability, and all sorts of incorporation, and what does your first $500 a month going to look like?
Hey Nick, can you please make a video about shipping from China? I know that you're using this type of shipping and maybe you can share some of your experience.
My experience with freight forwarding from China. As you guys may have known from previous videos, I've already tried two freight forwarders, and both were pretty good. I've really enjoyed working with both of them. One was Shapiro, and the other one was Unitrans, which is I'm just finishing up my second shipment with them right now. Both are good. I liked Shapiro, but they were quite a bit on the expensive side, or perhaps there were some fees that they didn't list for me that I, didn't really ask about because I was new and it was my first time. But they do come highly recommended in terms of quality of service. And then there is the Unitrans team, which I've really, really enjoyed working with, especially Susan. Shout out. She's great. We talk almost every day, or at the very least, a couple of times a week. Just checking in, asking what the weather's like. It's just really easy. You get one person for, in my case, it's Susan. She kind of oversees everything. And then you have people responsible for tracking the shipment, delivery, warehouse. In fact, with Shapiro, it's very hands off. It's kind of like you just give them what you want, and they deliver it for you. And I didn't really have to do anything much. Whereas with Unitrans, it's a lot more hands on. So if you're a detail freak, so to speak, not in a bad way, but you care about all these little details, I would definitely go with Unitrans. But I would also urge you to do your own research. This is just my experience. I just really like the Unitrans team because every step of the way they notify me, ask me questions. Sometimes it can get a little bit annoying, but if you don't mind that kind of stuff, in fact, if you encourage that kind of stuff, I would try them out. So my experience first time with Shapiro, like I said, it was very hands off. So I paid up front. Basically, they quoted me the fees, they figured everything out, and they basically, once I put them in contact with my supplier, I just sat back and waited until they told me that my stuff's in the warehouse. And sure enough, I log into my Sellers Central, and there it is. They basically routed throughout the whole thing. They have an app that you can follow, so that was a good addition because any time of the day I could just pull up the app and okay, my shipment's at sea right now. Oh, it just arrived in the I think it was the New York port. But then with Unitrans, I would order it, I would put them together, the contacts from China and the freight forwarder, and they would link me into every conversation. I would see what's going on there. They would start shipping. So here's a little thing too, and this might not be relevant to anyone in the future, but my shipment was actually on a Hanjin ship in the middle of it. And I sent about 20% by air because I wanted to get my listing up and running. I wasn't really prepared for my stuff to sell out so fast. But 80% of my shipment was on the sea freight. And then I got notified that Hanjin, which is the seventh or eighth biggest, shipping company in the world, declared bankruptcy the week before I got notified about it from first my supplier, then from my, Unitrans team. I was a little bit worried, but everything panned out. They kept me updated. They said, hey, as soon as we have some news, we'll let you know. They tried to keep me as calm as possible. You can only be as calm like when your whole shipment, your whole investment is, on a ship somewhere at sea that might just, not arrive ever again. But they were very helpful in those terms, and they notified me as soon as it arrived. They sent me some pictures of it arriving. They sent me some box labels, and that's one thing that they said. They said that they tried to make an Amazon appointment to deliver the stuff, but the box labels weren't matching what Amazon had on file. So they sent it to me, and I think my supplier might have mixed some stuff up because I resent them the box labels that I sent to my supplier, and they relabeled everything for me, and then they send it in, and everything was fine. And now I'm back on my 20 sales per day. So I'm really happy that they did that instead of just trying to push it in and just like not really letting me know what's happening. So I really like that, and that's been those two experiences so far. The Hanjin gave me a little bit of a heart attack, but other than that, it's been pretty easy, I would say. That's the reason why I always choose to go with freight forwarders instead of finding a shipping company, finding a customs broker, finding a trucking company, because it saves you time, and where that one smooth process, even though you pay, let's say, $500 to $1,000 more, it's just peace of mind. You buy that insurance that that if something somewhere goes, might not add up or goes wrong, that it's one big company, and they'll be able to retrace the steps and figure it out, instead of second or third company in a supply chain screws up, and then you have to trace it all the way back, like, okay, whose mistake was it at what point, and nobody wants to take fault, right? So that's what I'd recommend. Good luck.
Todd asks, hey Nick, not sure if you have covered this before in another video, but at what point do you think it's necessary to set up your business with liability insurance, LLC, business card, etc.?
Oh boy. So this is a tricky question to answer, and I'm not really sure. I'm not a business attorney, or I'm not a business lawyer or anything like that. So from what I've watched in videos, I'm supposed to say that I'm not a legal attorney, and I do not give you this advice as a legal attorney, and so on and so forth. This is just my personal advice to you. In no way do I take credit or charge or responsibility for any of your actions. I don't know. I think that's what they say. But anyway. In my experience, what I would do is I would first test the item, make sure that it's selling before you do all of that, register a Shopify site and, register an LLC and get insurance and whatever else comes with it. Make sure that your product is for selling. So what I would do, or what I did in the past, is I launched my product and I started selling it, and once I reached about 10 to 15 units per day, on my second reorder, I know that, okay, the product has been tested. I'm committing to this product because I'm reordering it again. While the second reorder was happening, while my manufacturer was making my second order where I doubled up on my units, instead of 1,200, I ordered 2,400 units. While waiting for that, I incorporated. Now, I believe that liability insurance comes with a corporation if you get limited liability corporation. Also, mind you, I'm Canadian. I'm a Canuck. I'm your neighbor up north. And all you Canadians watching, shout out Toronto Life, Faux Life. I would say, you might have to research. I think Scott Volker would be a much better resource for this than I would. But for all you Canadian folks out there, it's actually quite easy to register. You just go online. I will provide links below. Actually, I still have it all written down because it's fairly recent for me. You go online, you register your corporation, you do a name check. I think you have to pay $39. I forget what it's called exactly. Nuance name check, and then it gives you basically a full report of the incorporation name that you want. Trademark is something different. We can talk about that afterwards, but just for the corporation, you do the nuance check and then you apply. And one advice I would give you is try to describe the best you can, as detailed as possible, what exactly a corporation is. Because in my case, I wrote maybe 5-6 sentences for each paragraph that they required. And then they sent me back a letter saying, hey, we need more clarification, more specification so that we can differentiate. We can have a distinct understanding of your corporation, what it does. So in case somebody else tries to register with a similar name, they won't be able to, because if they have a similar name and they're doing exactly what you're doing, we can tell them, hey man, no, you can't do that because this guy's already doing his thing. So just be as detailed as possible, describe everything in detail. But other than that, it's about $250 to register online. You get the documents, by email within like 24 to 48 hours. Bam, you're incorporated. And then put that corporation. So you need to go into Amazon seller options. You need to put the name of the corporation and I believe like the address, some like other details. Instead of individual seller, you're now selling as corporation. Because what that does now is, let's say somebody chokes on your product or gets harmed by your product or something happens and you get sued. It's not you that's getting sued personally. It's your corporation. It's a separate legal entity, kind of like a human being, but not really. And your personal assets, your house, your car, your family dog, they're all safe. This is completely separate from the business. Whereas if you're an individual seller and let's say you're testing a product, so this is the flip side of it. Let's say you're testing a product and your 10th order, the 10th unit that you sold, something happens and somebody tries to sue you. Well, you're an individual seller. So, now they're going to come after you personally. It's too late to register a corporation. So act accordingly. For me, I have a pretty good risk tolerance and my product wasn't a hazard or anything like that. So I was just, I just wanted to see if it sells first, if it's tested. But if your product is more on the danger zone side type of situation, maybe it's wise to register a corporation first so you have that limited liability so that they don't come after you in case something happens. C'est la vie.
Drayton asks, hey Nick, my goal right now is $300 to $500 extra per month. Also, what are your thoughts on startup mentorship?
Hey Drayton, thanks for the love, appreciate it. Let's talk about what $300 to $500 a month profit looks like. To be honest, I think it's fairly simple. You can pretty much take any existing product, tweak it a little bit, and with a bit of marketing and listing optimization, I think everyone can be doing $500 a month. All it takes is one product sale per day, so that's 30 per month, and each one of those products making that you sold making $10 profit. You got your $300. That's it. Just one sale per day. And you'd be surprised. I'm going to reinstate what I've been saying over the past 4 or 5 videos that I found to be the number one key factor to success. And that is differentiation. Differentiate your product. I don't care what it is. I've seen 3-star products with less reviews than 5-star products with more reviews, and 5-star products being cheaper and 3 stars being more expensive. 3 stars would be outselling the 5-star products because they provide something that no other product in store or online provides. It's just so different that you have these people coming in and say, I don't care, I want this thing, it doesn't matter to me, just give it to me, I don't care. So differentiate, make it different, you know. I don't care what it is, whether it's color, shape, size, functionality, you know, like we're not talking about inserts, we're not talking about add-ons. I mean, like the core product, change it somehow. And I guarantee you will be making a lot more than 1 sale per day. You know, it's really simple math. Like just think about it. Let's say $5 profit for 10 products per day. That's $300 profit. That's $1,500 profit per month. I mean, simple enough, right? So just do the math. I think what you should be focusing more, instead of just, I get it, like it's a good goal, like I want $500 extra profit per month, but you need to dive deeper into where exactly, like niche it down, build it down. Where exactly is that 500, where each one of those dollars in the $500 coming from? And you know, I want to make, let's say $5 to $10 to $15 profit per unit. How many units do I have to sell? Okay, so that means with the cost, with everything, the unit needs to be priced at $25, right? So start at your end goal, which you seem to have started with, $500 a month, which I think you could do more. I think even for your first product, you can do $1,000 a month. It's not a lot, because think of it daily. Break it down on a daily basis. $1,000 a month is, oh boy, I'm gonna screw up the math here real bad. 10 to like $33 per day. If you have $11 profit, that's 3 products you got to sell per day, right? And in terms of mentoring, I would suggest that devour the free content first. So I'm sure you've watched my YouTube videos. I'm sure you've listened to the Scott Volker podcast, because with mentoring, as much as I really love to mentor people, I love helping everyone out, and in fact a few people from my YouTube videos reached out to me to do one-on-one mentoring, and basically they're paying me now to, you know, advise them and kind of guide them along and lay out the whole system and answer all of their questions, which I'm more than happy to do, of course, because that helps me and I can dedicate my full time to them as well. But I would say devour the free content first, understand the core issues, and if you think, basically, I actually wanted to make a video about this, what make like mentorship versus mentee, what makes a good one, and when you should get one, if you should get one. And I think free content has all the answers that you need. But if you just need that extra push, I think a mentor is good when you need somebody to hold you accountable, when you need someone to just ask questions and you get them right away. Like you message them or you call them, it's like, hey Nick, what's this? This is confusing me. And you don't want to wait, let's say 24 hours or until, you know, your mentor gets to a computer, or like you basically like, hey man, like this is like your retainer for the month or whatever. I want answers. I want you to guide me, like list the whole thing out. I want a one-on-one, right? So if you haven't gone through the free stuff yet, through like the podcast, my videos, other people's videos like Jungle Scout and Scott Volker, do that first, because I'm telling you, that's how I learned. I never had a mentor, so to speak. I had a couple of friends that asked a few questions here and there, kind of in this kind of similar situation, except like it was a friend of a friend, so I would just reach out to the person. I would never like, hey man, like question, just like give me, right? It would just be like 2-3 questions per person. That's about it. But all the content is out there. When you should get a mentor is when you're ready to pull the trigger and you just want that accountability, like take me, like help me get to my first product, right? Like I want somebody to hold me accountable. I want that acceleration. So I know I'm going around in circles, but I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for asking. And so concludes the first Chiang Mai episode, or episode 7 of Amazon Answers. Thank you guys for tuning in. Actually, I'm looking at this wonderful mountain outside a huge window that I have in my room. And because if I turn the laptop around, I'm filming it on the MacBook. If I turn that around, basically the light completely, you know, blackens my, you know, expression. And of course, the pretty face that I am, I gotta be, you know, always on screen. But it just provides more lighting. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set up lighting behind me and turn this around so you guys can see the view that I'm seeing. And it's amazing. It's gorgeous. Here, let me show it to you. Oh, it's such a nice view. I hope you can see it. I don't know. I can't see my laptop right now, but it's awesome. And I love staring out my window in the morning every day that I wake up at 6 a.m. and my gym is like literally right down there. It's an awesome setup. But thank you guys for tuning in. I am back on track. We're all set up. So a lot of these are going to be coming. I'm back in the game. So comment down below with more questions. Give it a thumbs up if you got some value out of this. Subscribe, as I am going to be putting out these guys weekly, and good luck.